welcome to What Should You Do? In this episode we are going to tackle the cam belt. I've been putting it off for quite a while now because it's quite a nervous thing for me to do, so we've got all the bits. So in this episode we're going to get the cam belt done and just make sure everything's all good, fingers crossed. And then we'll probably start on maybe some body work, just getting some primer down and a bit of paint, but let's see how we go. Lovely guys at Autodoc have sent us all the stuff for servicing and cam belt. I did pay for them, so they haven't sent them for free, don't worry. Let's have a look what goodies we've got. So we've got our standard oil filter. I've actually bought a pollen filter for the inside. It does smell, so I imagine it's got mould on the one that's in there, so it was really cheap, so I'll put the prices on at the end of this, but it's probably worth doing. Just like the new air filter, nice and shiny. So probably the cheapest oil that they do, really, to be honest. 4 litres of oil. Auxiliary belt, which I hope it's the right one for the alternator. We have our timing belt kit with a lovely shiny new water pump. Timing belt kit, which will just be belt and pulley. Nice tension pulley, if that's what you call it. Continental belt. Like I say, we'll put the prices of all these things in the description list down below. Like to our running total. Right, today is D-Day, so we are going to do the cam belt on the Fiat 500. Like I said before, I've never done one in my life. I literally am learning this from YouTube. I'll put a link in the description below of the videos that I watched. A lot of them use the locking kit and take the head off to lock the engine. Now, I've seen a video where they don't do that, so we're going to try and not take the head off and do it. So we bought a couple of bits to help us because I'd like to say I haven't got all the tools for these things, so let's have a look what we bought. The first thing we've bought is a torque wrench. So I've never had one of these before in my life. We need one to tighten the bolts to the correct torque settings. So this was from Screwfix and it was only £40, so it's not too expensive, but it should do the job. The next thing, we've bought a locking toolkit. Now, like I said, we're not going to lock the engine, but you do need this this tool for doing the tensioner. So this again was from Amazon and it was about £13. I'll put a link in the description for that too. But yeah, it's just for this little piece that we need, really. We've got a couple of bolts that we need to take off first, so this bar here, so we've got one down here, one at the top. We're just going to get some WD on there just to try and release them because they are pretty stuck on. Next we're going to have to release the alternator so we can get the belt off. There's 3 screws, like I say in the video below you'll see it's quite simple. There's just 3 bolts, that you undo just to release the tension on the alternator belt. Yeah, as you can see there's just a bolt there that you just loosen off, slacken off, and there's 2 others, and then that should just free up the alternator then, and the belt comes off easily enough. As you can see here, the outside looks absolutely fine, so when you turn it over and look on the inside, this alternator belt is quite cracked, so it definitely needed doing. You can see all the lines through it there where it's all cracked. Like I said, I'm literally watching this YouTube video and stopping starting it just to make sure I don't miss any steps.
But for now, we'll just get that alternator slack.
Just using a gun here just to get these 3 bolts off. They were quite stuck, so a bit of WD helped and eventually they did come off. Now we move to the engine mount. So we jacked up the engine just a piece of wood underneath the sump just to protect it, and then just I think the 17 and 15 mil bolts here that we're just getting out. They were quite stiff, some of them were really stiff, but yeah, a bit of WD certainly helped on these. So that's the mounts off. You can see the belt there. You can see marks on the actual cam there that somebody else has done when they've changed the belt. We've got a yellow pen, so we'll put some new marks on there just to make sure that it is in time. Yeah, so there's our yellow marks. We've put 2 at the top there, and then just one, you'll see in the video below, you just put a piece of metal bar underneath, a bit on the engine block there, just to make sure it's like a third line really, just to double check. Yeah, there's the bar. We just hold that there underneath flat, that should line up. And yeah, just the same on the bottom one there. So we've got 2 marks off centre, just to make sure they're in time. So yeah, just a nut there, just to release the tensioner. You just have to slack it off a little bit, just to release the tension. Then we can get the belt off, and then we can take that tensioner off because we've got a new tensioner. The belt, to be fair, wasn't too bad. There wasn't a lot of cracking even on the inside really. I think it was done probably 50,000 miles ago. Slight bit of wear, but pretty good all round. So that's the water pump, just 4 bolts for that. It's quite easy. All the silicone that was on there actually came off with the water pump, so only a little bit of cleaning up to do where the water pump sits, but yeah, it came off pretty easy, to be honest. Yeah, you can see it's quite clean actually. I'll just scrape a little bit more off just to make sure it's completely flat and there's no old silicone on there. So we've got this instant gasket from Halfords just to put round the new water pump. This is a clear one. So we're just going to run a bead, like I say in the video below, you can see there's like a groove that runs round the water pump to put the sealant into. Then it's just a case of replacing the water pump. You can see here we've put the belt on now, everything's still in time. There's just a little bit of wiggle there on the belt on the tension side. Our marks still line up, so it's just a case of tensioning that tensioner really to put tension on the belt. Yeah, just double check there. You can see with the put that bar on there, it is in line. It looks slightly off with my camera work, but yeah, it is in line. So it's just a case of reverse steps really. So you put your cover on, put your wires inside your cover. We'll get that engine mount back on there, give that a tighten down. Yeah, and then just put the alternator belt back on, add some tension to it. Like in the video, you should be able to twist it slightly so it's got enough tension on there but not too much. Pull it back on, all good. So belt has been done, so we're going to give it a quick fire up and see if my work worked. So let's give it a try, fingers crossed. Pretty good, sounds good. Started up no problem. Let's just have a listen outside. Just going to start rubbing down here, just getting back down to the metal, get rid of that rust, and then we'll stick some primer over the top. Yeah, so same here at the front, actually on both sides, it's a bit rusty, so we're just going to rub that down to the metal and then put some primer on it. Just going to stick a light coat of white over the top, just a little tack coat on there. Yeah, for some reason the paint sort of reacted to the primer, so I don't know what I've done here. As you can see here, it's just literally properly really reacted with it, so I'm going to have to rub all that down, re-primer it and then try again. I'll just throw this in at the end, so we're just using a heat gun here to get rid of the old stripe off that door that we put on. Yeah, pretty good day really. I was really impressed. Yeah, so just to run through our running total, so added onto what we spent last time, we've got brakes, door handle, tyres, the white boot, wire and boot kit, the replacement door. I actually got an airbox pipe for £10. You might notice one of the first videos that it was missing its little airbox pipe from the airbox. The paint was £21. I had some primer in the shed, so didn't pay for that. Polymer filter, £4. Then we've got obviously the oil filter, air filter, the auxiliary belt, the water pump and the timing belt and the engine oil. So our running total up to now is £776.68. So yeah, so that was really good going there. Actually quite simple in the end. A couple of bolts that were quite difficult to get off, but apart from that, the instructions from the video that I'll post below, absolutely brilliant. There's not a chance that I've ever tried anything like that before, but the guy who's explaining it is just makes you so at ease with it really. So yeah, have a go. It's really satisfying when it works. Obviously it could have gone very wrong, but we were lucky in this occasion. Yeah, I think pretty much we're on the home straight now. We were going to get that bodywork tidied up, get it properly cleaned. We've got a couple of stripes to go on it just to make it look a bit neater. Some new wheel trims come in. So yeah, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.